Good morning, class 9 students. Hope all of you are doing well. Now, today I am going to start with a new chapter of same unit. We were doing plant physiology, so today we are going to continue that same unit but with a fresh topic, which is your mineral nutrition. So, before starting the chapter, you need to know what is nutrient. So the nutrients are your organic. It can be organic in nature, it can be inorganic in nature, but it's very important that living organism collects from the nature. Anyhow, the living organism need to collect it because they are left with no other option. They have to collect it because they need to perform all the fundamental activities of the body. So those important elements are termed as your nutrients. So how they can take the nutrients? By taking the food, because they don't need a proper digestion. So if you taking the nutrients in form of food, obviously it has to be edible form. If you take the nutrients in form of food, then the body will easily get it's digested. The body will easily digest that, and so thereafter your process of nutrition can continue. So you can see the different types of nutrients which a body require. I have given certain images, so please see those images. The vegetables, the different portions of carbohydrate, vitamins, mineral, protein, lipid, which should be in quantity, in form of which we get the nutrients. Now you need to know what is nutrition. So as I form the definition, you can understand it's a combination of process by which the living organism is receiving the nutrients, and then they're utilizing those essential materials for maintaining their different physiological functions and for their growth purpose, and try to recover its components. Recover means to regenerate its cells. So that is called nutrition. Now when nutrition is so important, then obviously it's going to have certain types of significance, like nutrition is essential for your growth and development, for the well-being. Eating a healthy diet can contribute to prevent diseases. It builds your immunity power. Right now we are in such a situation that we need to eat proper food, because that is going to build our immunity system. Nutrition is the study of nutrients in food, how the body uses them, and the relationship between the diet, health, and disease. Yes, it deals that relationship. Nutritionists those who study nutrition or those who practice nutrition. Ideas from molecular biology, which is a branch of biology, biochemistry, that is also a branch of biology, genetics is also a branch of biology. Why they are using all these branches of biology? To understand how nutrients is affecting the human body, because it's not so easy to study any living because it's not so easy to study any living feature of any organism in terms of anything, whether it's nutrition, whether in other physiological process. So you have to take help from different branches of biology. So that therefore, in a simple word, you can say it's a combination of process. See, it's a GIF I have given you. These are the nutrients these are the basic things which you should have. What are the importance? It's promoting your growth, repairs your wear and tear of your damaged tissue. If any tissue has been broken, damaged, it can be repaired back. To gain energy, controls your metabolic process. Potential energy, which is stored in your body, obviously gets transferred into a usable form of energy, that is your kinetic energy. Controlling different physiological function, helps to develop the immunity system, plays a special role in production of heat energy. So these are your basically importance of your nutrition. See, GIF have given you to show that what right now the nutritionists suggest. So please look at those. Now, very important part of the chapter, that is your macro and micro elements. So first you need to know what is macro and what is micro. So macro element, first let me start with macro element, the inorganic ions, or you can call them the essential elements, which are required by the body but in large amount. Why the body requires? Because the body need to perform their normal growth and other physiological functions. So therefore these elements are being required for plant, and so that those elements are called macro elements. So in simple word, the element which are required in large amount by the plants for performing the vital functions of their body, those are called macro element. Right now we are going to only focus on plants. Okay, now the elements I have given them with the symbols. Obviously you know the name, like C is for your carbon, H for hydrogen, P for phosphorus, S for sulfur. So continues. Then comes your micro element. These are also essential elements, but they are required in trace amount, that means in small quantities. Those are called micro element, as by the name micro means small and macro means large. So over here also I have given you the symbols. You know the name, like your zinc, manganese, molybdenum, etc. Now you have to do little in details of the different macro elements in plant and their function. Like I have given all the functions, you just need to know two from each. It's not necessary that you need to do from the video only. Your book is your best guide. Go through your book, whatever is given in your book, you have to do just two functions from each. I recommend to go through your book and see what is been given, how many functions are given. Just do two functions from each, but you have to do it. Okay, like nitrogen. What is the importance of nitrogen? It is required by plant in large amount. It takes in the form of iron from the soil. It requires for division of the cell. It's a major constituent of your proteins and vitamins. Phosphorus, same constituents of your cell membrane, protein, nucleic acid. Potassium, it's a mineral that is required for growing parts, that is also in large amount. Required for opening and closing of stomata, activation of enzyme, helps in maintaining the turgidity of the cell. Then comes your calcium. It is also required during cell division and in normal functioning of the cell membrane. Metabolic activities are also regulated by this mineral. Manganese, it's an element which is required for activation of your enzymes, used for respiration and photosynthesis. Then it's important for synthesis of your DNA and RNA. It forms an important constituent of your ribosome. It helps in maintaining the structure of ribosome. So these are all function of your manganese. Then what is your function of your sulfur? Essential constituent of your amino acid, coenzymes, vitamins. Iron, it is required in large amount as compared to other micronutrient. It's an important constituent of protein and helps in activation of enzyme. Manganese, same thing, enzymes involved in photosynthesis, respiration, activated by this, helps in splitting of water. Now let me tell you whatever the listing I have given you. Basically, most key fact of these elements are this, that they are control different various physiological function, whether it's respiration, whether it's photosynthesis, whether it's formation of enzyme, whether it's activation of enzyme, whether it's production of heat energy. So these are the different elements which are required by the plant body to perform their different body functions, and that's why each and every individual element has some specific function which you need to know, but 2 points each, not more than that. See, I have given this a picture. If these things have not been activated in plants in proper duration of time, then the plant can become like this. See, plant nutrient deficiencies, visual symptoms on leaf. Yes, you can see those visual symptoms on the leaf if these are not getting activated or if these are found in small amount in plant. Now previously we did the macro element. Now we are going to the micro element, like your boron. How does boron helps? Obviously growth and development, the same thing, but it will be required in minute quantity. Helps in your carbohydrate translocation, that means carbohydrate transference, to translocate where it is being needed and they are going to go into that region. Prevents any kind of acid toxicity storage, because generally plants can also store different types of organic acids like your phenolic acids. So if it's any kind of toxicity has been caused, they can prevent that. Okay, then comes your copper. Copper also helps in reduction of nitrate, act as your electron carrier. It's a component of your certain enzymes, catalyzes many reaction. Now in this video I have given little more details in boron and copper, but you don't need to know so much in detail. It's just to give you an idea I have given you. See, over here I also have given you a picture where boron deficiency, potassium deficiency, manganese deficiency, nitrogen deficiency, Phosphorus deficiency, magnesium, calcium, iron deficiency can lead a healthy plant to turn into this type of plant. Then comes your iodine, helps in plant metabolism. Without it, growth of the plant will be obviously disturbed because it's controlling your plant metabolism. Then comes your manganese. It's very important. It helps in enzyme activation to activate the enzyme. Also helps in act as your catalyst, which we have done in enzyme chapter, that enzyme used to act as a catalyst. That means manganese is acting as a catalyst to accelerate the rate of reaction. Also acts as your electron carrier. Okay, then comes your molybdenum. Molybdenum take part in nitrogen fixation, nitrate reduction, also helps in activation of enzymes. And then how this nitrogen fixation is taking place, I have given you the rhizobium bacteria story, but that's not so needed. You just need to know what is the function of it, that's all. Then comes your chlorine, which is influencing your plant development, controlling the osmotic pressure. That means the pressure which is built during osmosis, because in plants it's been expected that diffusion osmosis process are going to take place. That means movement of water molecules, movement of the molecules inside or outside the membrane against the pressure. So it's controlling the pressure. Cobalt, it's a very important growth promoter and is present specifically in vitamin B12. It activates plant enzymes to very specific enzymes like peptidase, also related to nitrogen fixation. Sodium, very essential for certain species of green algae, helps in vigorous development. Vigorous, that means it's been quite vigorous, that means it's been quite speedy in nature. Zinc, it's involved in IA synthesis. IA is your hormone. The name of the hormone is indole acetic acid. So indole acetic acid is a hormone which is synthesized in plants. So zinc is helping it to synthesize. Then comes your zinc also acts as an activator of many enzymes. As I told you, most of the elements are going to control the same function only, more or less similar function, but still it's included in your syllabus, so we need to do it. And fluorine is such an element whose function is still now not known, but it has been considered as an important microelement. But what kind of function it is doing in your body, playing in your body, it's still not known. Now I have given a general function of your elements, of your essential nutrients. Just go through it. Like minerals are essential constituent of your skeletal structure. Like development of bone and teeth takes place due to of these macro and micronutrients. Also helps in maintenance of your osmotic pressure. Regulates exchange of water solutes within the animal body. It's an important structural constituent of the soft tissue. The tissue which is, because soft tissue is such a tissue which has to maintain the rigidity. It cannot get damaged at all. Any kind of soft tissue, it's not only for plants, I'm talking about also for animals also. So these soft tissues has to be strong enough. So how they are going to maintain that? Mineral are going to serve them those structures so that they don't get damaged easily. Minerals are essential for transmission of nerve impulses, muscle contraction. This is a function which is being performed in animals, not in plant. I hope so you understood this. Mineral play a vital role in maintaining your acid-base balance, which is also called your acid-base equilibrium. Acid and base equilibrium has to be maintained. If it's not maintained, severe problem in the living body. Regulates the pH in your blood and other body fluids. Again, it's not for plant, it's for animal also. Obviously, pH of blood cannot be found in plant, it's for animal. Minerals serve as your essential component of many enzymes like vitamins, hormones, respiratory pigments, act as cofactors in your metabolism, catalyst and enzyme activators. So it's a very essential component of so many things. So now can you understand why these are very much important for the living organism? Okay, so for today it was this much. This chapter was not so difficult. This chapter is basically dealing with the different macro and micronutrients, what are their function, and more or less I told you the function has been that same physiological process which they are continuing. Enzyme activation, whether you call it enzyme activation, whether you call it the physiological process of growth, development, repair, or wear and tear damaged tissue. But still it's included in the syllabus, so we have to do it. And now please remember, when you are learning the points from the listing of micro and macro elements, refer from your book any two points, whichever point you find it to be easy for you, please learn them and study them. Now based on today's lesson, I have given some work assignment to do. You have to solve these questions in your life science worksheet copy. I repeat myself, these questions need to be solved in life science worksheet copy. I'm repeating the question in case if you have any problem, and please write the answers according to the marks given. First, what are nutrients? Second question, define nutrition. Third question, why do we take food? Fourth question, give any three difference between micro and macro element. Any three difference, and that is also for 3 marks. So you need to write only 3. What is buffer effect? Explain how osmotic balance is maintained by essential nutrient. Give any 2 function played by sulfur, which is for 2 marks. Justify the statement all food are nutrients but all nutrients are not food. Yes, this is a very logical question. I purposely did not say the answer because after teaching you this chapter, you need to say me that you need to tell me that all the foods are being followed under nutrients, but all nutrients cannot come under your food, because all nutrients are not available in edible form. So I have given you the hint. So now you start writing your answer, and that is for 3 marks. So please remember how will you frame your answer and write. Expand the term DPN, which is for 1 marks. Expand the term FAD, which is also for 1 marks. So these are the 10 questions, not a big deal to solve. You have to solve it in your life science worksheet exercise copy. Okay. So thank you. If you still have any queries or doubts regarding this chapter or regarding any previous chapter, if you have any queries or doubt regarding this chapter, and if you have any other doubts, you can email me at this given email ID, which is ankita.sma@outlook.com. Only communication in form of this mail ID will be entertained. Other way of communication will not be entertained. And let me tell you, please don't disturb your class teacher by asking how will I communicate with life science teacher, or how will I send them in form of what, because already I told you, you have to send me the assignments in form of images through your mail ID to my given mail ID, which I have provided in this video. Okay, so thank you.